So tonight I'm going to start cleaning up some of the suspension components and stuff that we took off last episode. I'll show you a method that I use to clean stuff up. You know, I did this 15 years ago when I put the car together the first time. It's a combination of brake cleaner, kerosene, and then a parts cleaner. I'll show you how I do a couple of them. And so the first thing to note is I boxed everything up, keep it organized, put it in boxes, labeled it, and then inside the box are all the components in the separate bags for the most part. Just try to keep things organized. So what I use is a piece of cardboard to try to keep my floor halfway clean. And then I have some old cookie sheets in the baking pan that were no good. First thing I would do is take the arm, or the part that we're gonna clean, and this has to get the real thick stuff off, which this one doesn't seem too bad. And once done with that, again, this one wasn't too bad. I switch over to the deeper pan. Okay, and I got a couple of brushes, old toothbrush, and I buy kerosene. I can get it up at my gas station, actually by the gallon. And I will just put a little bit on here, and then the pan, and then hit it with the brush. And I'll take off the real thick, heavy stuff. I don't like putting real thick stuff into my parts cleaner. Finish up with the big brush. Gets the majority of it, but the parts cleaner will get the rest of it. So I wipe it off with some paper towels. Try to keep the dirt out of the parts cleaner. So then you bring the part over the parts cleaner. I use Agitine in my parts cleaner. A little toxic, but as long as you're wearing gloves, you're okay. And then just brush over the part. With another brush. Basically just trying to get the kerosene off is what you're doing here with this. Take a paper towel and you just dry it off best you can. Again, this leaves residue also, but the brake cleaner is what's going to clean that off. So now the part's clean from that. So then you grab another one of you put it in the cookie sheet again, and then you grab the brake cleaner. This stuff is fantastic stuff. Anybody who doesn't have this in their garage is nuts. It cleans up everything. Buy it at your local parts store when they got it on sale, 2 for 1. I buy 3 or 4 cans at a time. So you basically put it on there, cover it in good. Okay, stuff evaporates really quick. Come over here with a paper towel, clean one, and dry it off. And that's it. I'm telling you, that thing is ready for paint, and paint will stick no problem at all. So I'm not going to bore you with cleaning up all these parts. Just showed you how I did one. When I get done, I'll show you what I got done. I'll lay them out on the floor so you can see them. So I'm going to show you a little trick here that I use. On parts that I want to have natural, I'm going to, I just want to have natural steel and not have color paint on them. What I usually do, a real quick, easy trick, is to wire brush them. If you got access to a sandblaster, that works well too. But the sandblaster actually puts like a finish on them that kind of looks like you painted it. It doesn't look like natural steel. The wire brush puts a little bit of a polish on it and cleans them up real good. So here are the cleaned up parts. That's the left hand spindle stuff, I'll call it. Here's the right hand spindle stuff. And here is the idler arm and bolts and the bearing covers and such. These guys and these guys will be black. And these I'm going to just do natural. I'm just going to hit them with clear. It'll look like brand new. Now, I took all the stuff apart about 15 years ago. And I used a combination. Then it was really rusty. I used a combination sandblaster and the wire wheel to get all the rusty scale cleaned up the best that I could. And then I used, I think it was called Pour 15, which is like a rust neutralizer, and painted it and then hit it with black. So hopefully later on this weekend I'll do some painting and I'll show you some tricks that I use for that. Welcome to my outdoor paint booth. The parts we cleaned up last night, I'm going to go ahead and hit those with paint. See here on the spindles is the axle side and such. Obviously you don't want paint on that, so I taped it up. And then wherever there were the taper joint holes where the ball joints and stuff go, just covered those up by sticking a piece of paper towel in there so that it doesn't get paint in there. The paint I'm going to use on this stuff is from Eastwood called Chassis Black. It's a little bit expensive, but it's really nice, good coverage. You get a lot out of the can. You know, the Eastwood stuff is a bit pricey, but it's spot on. It's easy, and it's really durable. It's what I painted this stuff with 15 years ago, and you can see a lot of the paint is still on there. It's pretty good coverage. Hang to dry. The next piece. There's a little trick I do for bolts and nuts. On the right there are bolts. This is just like a pizza box. Poke a hole, stick the bolt in so you can paint the head without a problem. And for the nuts, I poke a scrap bolt up through the bottom and just screw the nut on her, and then just hit those real easy. These will be done with clear along with the idler arm. Makes it real easy. You get around every side, across the top. So here's the finished product. Everything's painted up. That's the things I did in clear. Left-hand parts, right-hand parts. So I'm not going to show any more video in regards to the cleaning up. Just kind of boring stuff. These will get tagged and rebagged, and I'll just keep going on stuff. And the next video I'll post will be putting things together. So stay tuned.